Dear Sagittarius, you didn't land here by accident. Something unnamed but undeniable has been pulling you closer to the truth your soul has been whispering from within. Those subtle signs, a strange feeling, a quiet pull, a dream you couldn't quite explain, they're not random. They're messages from the deeper layers of the universe. And if you're still here, still listening, it means you're ready to understand what your heart has known all along. You are standing in the middle of a major turning point. I can feel a gentle tug-of-war inside you. One part of you still longs for adventure, still burns with a hunger to explore and expand. But another part, a quieter voice, is softly saying, I'm tired, and that doesn't mean you're weak. It means you've carried more than most. You are the symbol of constant movement, but even the freest winds need a place to land. Even the fire needs to rest so it doesn't burn itself out. You've been holding onto light, even while surrounded by fog. You've smiled through uncertainty, stayed strong on days that felt meaningless, and believed even when everything felt hollow. But you don't need to be the light for everyone. You only need to be the light for yourself. And I see it in you, a quiet kind of rebirth, not a loud breakthrough, not a dramatic eruption, but a seed tucked deep in the earth, warming itself beneath layers of time and silence, getting ready to bloom when the time is right. This is not a beginning. This is a return to the purest, rawest, most original version of you, the one that was buried under expectations, duties, and stories that were never really yours. Have you noticed how sensitive you've become lately? How your intuition has sharpened? How songs show up at just the right moment? How numbers repeat themselves again and again? How you feel something coming before it arrives? That's not coincidence, that's alignment. The universe is sending soft confirmations, not to control you, but to affirm you are on the right path. And when I tune in, I see it clearly. A streak of light racing across the sky, not in a rush, not unsure, but confident, like an arrow, released not to hit a target, but to follow its destined arc. You are that arrow. You don't need to know exactly where you're going. You only need to trust that something wiser than your mind is guiding you. You may feel like you've just stepped away from a cycle, a job, a relationship, a role, or even an old version of yourself. And even though letting go can hurt, please don't cling, because the truth is, what leaves your life is not betraying you. It simply no longer matches the frequency you're growing into. As you shift inside, everything around you begins to rearrange, even the things you once thought were permanent. And yes, that can feel scary. The fear of losing your footing, the fear of not being understood, the fear of stepping into a space with no clear edges. But let me tell you something the world often forgets. Endings are not punishments. They are sacred doors that only open when you stop knocking on the old ones. Each goodbye is a ritual, a recalibration, a recreation of who you are meant to become. And right now, you are standing before one of the most important doors of your life, even if you have no idea where it will lead. The universe doesn't need you to have all the answers. It only needs you to have the courage to believe, not in someone else, not in the outcome, not in the perfect plan, but in yourself. Believe that you've learned enough to let go, that you've lived enough to trust the flow, that you don't have to chase anymore. Because what's meant for you is finding its way to you, quietly, precisely, and soon something small. A moment, a person, a thought you almost dismissed will change everything. It won't knock loudly. It will arrive like a whisper, a sacred invitation you can't ignore. And when it does, I hope you don't turn away, because you've come too far, not to receive what's finally yours, not because you've earned it, but because you've become true enough to hold it. Write in the comments, I am ready to receive all the good my soul has planted. Not as a declaration, but as a ritual, not to prove anything, but to connect with the part of you that's been waiting to be remembered. Something is opening inside you, a doorway without a name, but you've always known it was there. Maybe it's a soul connection with someone you've known forever, but never met. Maybe it's the return of a passion you thought had died. Or maybe it's just a moment in silence, when your heart whispers, it's time to come home. You weren't made to blend in, you are a living reminder. That light doesn't ask for permission to shine. That wild spark inside you, the part that never fit in, the fire no one could tame, wasn't a flaw, it was divine design. The universe doesn't wait for consensus to move, and neither should you. You don't need people to understand you, to be worthy of living your truth. So when people drift away, let them. When connections no longer match your growth, They will fall away like autumn leaves, not as rejection, but as purification. And in that quiet shedding, please remember this: you are never alone. I can feel it within you, a deep purification stretching across soul after soul after soul, as if you're not just releasing the weight of this life, but unraveling ancestral fragments, old patterns that once placed responsibility on your shoulders, responsibilities that were never truly yours to carry. Sometimes healing doesn't come from doing. It comes from stopping, from letting go, from remembering you were never meant to carry it all. You were meant to be loved, and something magical begins to happen. When you remember this, caring does not mean exhaustion. Loving does not require sacrifice, and you too are worthy of being held, being cared for, being heard. That is not a demand. It is a sacred balance. Your soul is now remembering how to restore. When I tuned into your energy, I saw something. A still lake, smooth as glass, mirroring a twilight sky painted in violet hues, and in the center, a quiet creature drinking water, unbothered, unafraid, at peace. The lake is your mind when you stop asking why. The mountain is the strength that's shaped you, and the creature is your soul learning to live without resistance. Peace does not come from understanding everything. It comes when you stop trying to know and start simply witnessing. Witness your sadness without labeling it. Witness your longings without condemning them. Ask yourself gently, what part of me is asking for light right now? And then be still, listen, don't fix, don't react, just witness, like a loyal friend to your own being. In love, something is shifting. If you're on your own right now, don't be surprised if a soul connection appears, not flashy, not dramatic, but strangely familiar, like you've known them before. And if you're already walking with someone, a shift may rise between you, not to break, but to upgrade. It may be a step together into a higher frequency, or it may be a sacred separation, so each of you can return to your truest self. Either way, it is evolution. Nothing is random right now. Every moment is serving your awakening. Whether it's a job opportunity, an old idea returning in a new form, or just an urge to do something completely different, follow your heart. Your potential isn't tied to any one role. It lives in your courage to live fully. Without abandoning your soul, you're being prepared for a larger role, not for fame, not for praise, but to become a soul awakener. You don't need to become someone. Just be yourself in your rawest, truest form, and that alone will bring light to others. Maybe you're writing, maybe you're teaching, maybe you're simply sitting with someone, letting your presence be a safe harbor. Never underestimate the power of something ordinary, because the ordinary is what touches the deepest places in others. It's your lived experience, every scar, every stumble, every shattered hope, that has turned you into a vessel of light. Close your eyes tonight and place your hand over your heart. Whisper this, not as a request, but as a sacred ignition. I open my heart to receive all that my soul deserves. I believe and I allow. This is not a promise. This is a portal. And you've been holding the key in your hand for a very long time. Write in the comments, I allow myself to receive the light I am worthy of. Not to explain, not to convince, just to affirm, because when you believe, the light will find you. Every soul-led word you speak reaches into the intricate weave of the universe and shifts reality around you, not because you're controlling, because you've finally started aligning. Yes, you are the fire, but you are not just here to burn. You're here to illuminate. Within you is the rhythm of the seeker, but also the wisdom of the sage. You don't just live, you search for meaning. You don't just explore, you want to understand. And even when the world feels cold, even when you feel alone, remember, even the brightest star needs the dark to be seen. You didn't come here to dim your light. You came to be the doorway for others to remember the light they lost. You don't need to shrink to fit someone else's frame. You just need to expand into the radiance you carry. And in doing so, you heal the world. Let me say this, not from my mind, but from a deeper current. You are not alone in the soul's great tapestry. There are eyes watching over you with a knowing smile. There are frequencies whispering gently, we are here. Your soul family will appear, not through noise, but through the quiet recognition of music you've heard before, in lifetimes you barely remember. And if you feel yourself drifting away from old circles, old spaces, old names, don't panic. It's not loss, it's energetic refinement. You are shedding, and what no longer resonates will fall away like golden leaves from branches that no longer belong to this season. Be grateful for the goodbyes. They were part of the old chapter. But you are clearing the path for something beautifully new. I see within you an ancestral healing wave. You're undoing threads from memories that were never yours. You're not just releasing your own pain, you're ending cycles that have run through bloodlines. You are no longer the carrier of burdens. You are the decoder of sacred chaos. And perhaps the most important lesson you're learning now, love is not a burden. Caring does not require self-erasure. You're beginning to remember that you too deserve to be lifted, to be chosen, to be seen as the center in your own world, not to demand, but to restore balance. When I tune into your energy field, a clear image begins to take shape. A radiant golden spiral born from the fusion of fire and air expands in concentric waves. At its center, a single candle burns, unwavering, calm, and brilliantly steady. That candle is you, blazing yet still, powerful yet self-aware. You are stepping into a phase of intentional creation, a sacred shift where every thought you send out begins to take form, where emotions are no longer something to avoid, but the very fabric of your reality. It's time to talk to the universe as if it were your dearest friend, with honesty, with no need to pretend you're okay, with no fear of asking for what you truly deserve. Tonight, I invite you to do something simple yet sacred. Light a candle, place your hand over your heart, and gently speak these words. I release what no longer serves me. I welcome what aligns with who I am becoming. Feel the flame echoing the light already inside you. Every time you begin again, you're not going back to square one. You're beginning with deeper wisdom, with an elevated self. And now, you're being called to reconnect with nature. Not just to walk through it, but to listen. The wind will teach you how to move without force. The rain will show you how to cleanse sorrow without needing to scream. The sun will remind you you don't need permission to shine. Yes, you are a being who loves movement, but now is the time to explore your inner depth. Not to abandon the outer world, but to find balance. Your path is no longer just about where you're going, but about who you're becoming. I sense your dreams lately have been sending you messages. If you dream of water, it's a call to cleanse your emotions. If you see doors, it's a sign of approaching transformation. If light, birds, or strange emotional images appear, don't dismiss them. Dreams are mirrors of the soul, the way the universe whispers what you're not quite ready to hear in waking life. Write in the comments, I am ready to speak to the universe with the true voice of my soul. This is not just a prayer. It is your hand reaching for the door that's already unlocking, waiting just for your presence. The door is still there, not to be knocked on, but to be touched with the sincerity of your being. Birds continue to pass as signals. Light not only shines outside, it awakens memory within. Every vision you glimpse, every breathless moment when you nearly gave up, they are whispers from beyond. You are not alone. And I want you to pause here, truly pause and ask yourself, when was the last time you felt proud of your soul? Not for what you achieved, but for the fact that you kept glowing even when no one noticed. That you chose kindness even when no one responded. That you held on a hope even when the logical things had all fallen apart. That quiet courage is being honored now, not through trophies, but through the divine synchronicities about to unfold. A wave of energetic balance is arriving, not to make you stand still, but to steady you as everything around you begins to shift. Some choices can no longer be delayed, but you won't choose from urgency. You will choose from that deep whisper within. The place where answers lie even before the questions take form. Some doors will quietly close without warning, but please don't knock on them because your destiny is not behind them. It's ahead where your feet have never dared to step. I sense movement coming, physical and spiritual. You may feel called to relocate, a new city, a new circle, a new path entirely. Or you may suddenly feel drawn to learn something once considered too far out. Healing, art, language, or even yourself. Don't fear the unknown. It is the greatest teacher of all. Knowledge is fuel for your soul, not to be hoarded but to illuminate. And along the way, don't be surprised if a soul from another realm finds you. It might be that look, that phrase, that inexplicable familiarity you can't quite explain. True soul connections don't need words. They only need resonance. If you already have one, I feel it being upgraded. Not through fireworks, but through deeper understanding. more presence, more truth. Conversations you've avoided will begin to unfold naturally, not to destroy, but to renew. And in the deepest layers of your being, a doorway is opening, the one that reminds you who you truly are. You may find yourself suddenly drawn to the invisible realms. Astrology, energy work, transmission, symbols, chakras, dreams. Don't doubt it. It's not curiosity, it's remembrance. You are a bridge between realms. You are reactivating ancient gifts, sharp intuition, repeated synchronicities, heightened sensitivity to frequencies, a body that feels truth before it's spoken. Honor that, protect that. Never let anyone convince you that your magic is strange. Now do this with me. Take a deep breath in. And as you do, imagine golden light from the cosmos pouring into you from above, through your crown, into your shoulders, through your heart, down to your toes, lighting up every cell, merging with the earth. And as you breathe out, let go. Release what was never yours to carry. Release the outdated beliefs. Release the expectations others had of you. Each breath like this is a declaration to the universe. I am ready not to fight, but to fully arrive, not to perform, but to live in wholeness. You're stepping into a new chapter, one that doesn't ask for speed, only depth, no longer chasing validation, only seeking to live truthfully. No longer striving to conquer, but learning to receive with an open heart. And if you're still listening to these words, it's because a part of you already knows. The time has come. Write in the comments, I give myself permission to live authentically. I allow the light to find me, not to demand instant change, but to affirm you have chosen the light within. The flame you once ran from is now the force helping you stand strong. You're no longer afraid of the space within. You no longer try to fill it with noise, busyness, or approval from others. Instead, you plant meaning there. You sit quietly with yourself and ask, what does my soul truly need? And in that single sacred moment, you awaken a spiral of transformation. The abundance you seek does not come as a promise. It arrives as a steady breath, as a soft gaze, as a moment where you smile for no particular reason at all. That's when you understand. Peace is not stillness. It's when everything inside you falls into harmony. And if you've ever felt like your journey is stuck, let me remind you, roots grow deep in silence. Just because you haven't seen your branches bloom yet, doesn't mean something miraculous isn't happening underneath. When you thought you were trapped, you were actually planting roots into a new dimension of being. Happiness is not a destination. It's a process of consciously choosing your path, one step at a time. Each time you say no to what suffocates your spirit, you are saying a massive yes to what is waiting for you. And the universe hears that, not in words, but in frequency. And now you're being guided. No, you're not imagining it. No, you're not overthinking. You're being aligned, even when you sleep, even when you doubt, even when you cry in the dark alone. The layers of energy are shifting just for you. Your job is not to control the universe. Your only task is to prepare a space for greatness to arrive. Clear the clutter, say goodbye to what weighs you down. Light a candle and ask yourself, if a miracle wanted to visit me, would it have a place to stay? And if you're feeling like giving up, I understand, but stay just a little longer, because the greatest blessings often show up right after the moment you almost walked away. Not to test you, but to show you have always been stronger than you believed. Last night in silence, I connected with your energy field and saw a vision, a band of light like a constellation being formed. But it wasn't like any constellation I've ever seen. Each star was breathing, and then I realized this wasn't astronomy. This was your soul remembering where it came from. You come from an ancient lineage, where wisdom spans across lifetimes, where freedom is not a place but a state of heart. And you, the one carrying that light, are now reactivating the memory of the cosmos that has long slept inside you. That's why shallow answers never satisfy you, because you didn't come here just to survive. You came here to expand. You came here to guide others out of the maze by showing how you once saved yourself. I see you standing at the crossroads, 4 paths before you. One made of fire, passion, and bold beginnings. One of wind, sharp wit, and graceful adaptability. One of water, deep emotion, and your most hidden truths. One of earth, grounding and presence in the middle of all transformation. When all 4 elements finally harmonize within you, you are no longer just a seeker. You become a creator of reality. And in that moment, your words begin to carry a different weight. Your ideas take shape faster than ever before. The emotions you once rejected now become your compass. None of this is random. It is the reward of the inner work you've walked through. Quietly, without witnesses, without applause, you forgave the silences that never apologized. You loved yourself through wounds that had no name. You let go not because you were weak, but because you had grown, and you never needed to announce that because the universe already is. Comment below. I remember my sacred origin. I am ready to walk into the next chapter with light in my heart. This is not just a mantra, it's an activation key, a code that unlocks the frequency you were born to live in. Life is about to hand you a new mirror, not to check how you look, but to show you how your soul has evolved. A moment, a person, an opportunity. A situation that seems ordinary but suddenly reflects you in a way you've never seen before. And you'll be amazed to realize you don't react like you used to. What once hurt now passes like a soft breeze. You no longer feel the urge to prove anything. No need to defend your point. No need to hold on to what isn't meant to stay. This is what pure evolution feels like, when you don't need confirmation to know you've grown. I've tuned into your energy and I hear something, a drumbeat in the distance, like the earth's breath, deep, wide, steady. It's as if your ancestors are calling, their voice echoing through time and space, inviting you back into your body, back into your senses, back into presence, into this one sacred moment now. Have you been living too much in your head? Running, thinking, striving, always trying to move forward, improve, find something, but sometimes the magic lies in a warm cup of tea, in a wordless hug, in the breath you forgot to notice. Spirituality doesn't just live in the stars, it lives in the simple things. The message from your guides is clear: don't fill silence with noise. It's in the quiet that the truth finds space to speak. Close your eyes, let the world fade for just a few seconds. In that stillness, you'll hear a voice that has always been inside you, a voice that has never judged you, never failed you, never left you, and from that place, love will begin to move. A soul is approaching you. They are not coming to fill a void. They are not here for entertainment. They are here to mirror the part of your soul you are learning to love again. They may challenge you. They may stir the shadows you buried, but they will also help you heal them. If you're in a relationship, truth will come forward, not to hurt, but to free. True love never dies, it only changes form. I also see a powerful light on your path of career, finances, and recognition. But this isn't a surface-level glow. It's the light of someone who has become steady on the inside. You won't work from survival anymore. You'll act from fulfillment. And when you move from fulfillment, the universe multiplies everything good. Listen closely to this. Your purpose is not a destination. It is a frequency. You don't have to find it. You only need to remember. It lives in the moments that make you forget time, the moments you laugh from the soul, the moments you create, write, share with no reason at all. That's your place. That's where you belong. And when you stand in that sacred place, you don't just open the path for yourself. You open it for others too. I feel you awakening a new frequency within your soul. You may begin having vivid dreams. You might notice repeating signs, symbols, synchronicities you can't explain. Some of you will become deeply sensitive to sound, to color, to energy, to ancient symbols. Don't doubt it. You are starting to receive messages from higher realms. You don't need to understand. You only need to allow. And if one night sadness visits you, like an unexpected rain, don't push it away. Let it teach you what's been missing. Play soft music, light a candle, and write down what flows through you. Not to solve it, but to keep your inner fire from going out. The universe never asked you to be perfect, only to be present. Present with your laughter, your tears, and even the days when you don't know where you're going. Growth isn't about eliminating the dark. It's about embracing both the light and the shadow without losing yourself in either. I see a very clear image. A butterfly emerging from a cocoon of light. That's you. You can't go back to your old form anymore. You can't fit into a shell that's grown too tight. Your wings are drying in the sunlight of a new consciousness. You will fly, even if a part of you still doubts it, but you will fly, and when someone from your past returns, remember this: they're not coming back to continue, they're coming back to close. Welcome them with gratitude, and move forward with your new wings. You didn't come here to play small, you came to lead, to expand, to illuminate. And even the hardest parts of your journey have been preparing you for this. You've always had the fire. Now is the time to remember how to light it. Comment below, I am ready to expand my heart and remember my soul's purpose. You don't need to understand it all, you just need to allow. We will meet again in that space where light and stillness coexist. Dear Sagittarius, today we opened a gate. I can feel that energy radiating everywhere, like a sunrise that needs no promise, like a wind that needs no reason to blow. Something inside you has awakened. Something inside you has called itself by name. And for the first time in a long journey, you no longer feel lost. You came here with a heart full of questions, and you will leave with a new light, not needing answers, just trusting. That is the miracle of a soul, when it is reflected and remembered. The universe is moving endlessly, and you are no longer watching from the sidelines. You are dancing. With every step, every decision, every sacred silence, everything that's ever happened, the unfinished things, the dreams that never bloomed, the quiet moments you thought were meaningless. It was all arranged to bring you right here, and I say this not with words, but with vibration. You are standing at the edge of a destiny. Your soul chose long before you were born, and the entire universe is holding its breath in wonder. Listen, the days ahead will overflow with invisible rewards, slowly taking shape. The love you gave without needing anything in return, it will come back multiplied. The quiet efforts no one saw, the universe saw them all. The faith you held in the storm, it's becoming a bridge of light guiding you across. Don't be afraid if your heart starts beating faster. Don't doubt yourself if your emotions surge like a wave. That's not a sign you're lost. It's your soul elevating in frequency. You didn't come here to question your worth. You are fire. You don't need permission to shine. You are a guide. You don't need proof. You are the dream of the universe itself, wrapped in human skin, capable of loving, learning, and lifting others. And now, as I close this chapter, I see your image clearly in the realm of light, a soul holding a torch, walking toward a gateway opening in the night sky. Behind that door, there is no confusion, no fear, only return. When you cross over, no one needs to throw flowers. No music needs to play, because the universe will whisper your name, and you'll remember who you are. So please don't look back. What's waiting for you ahead is light, and it's already shaped like your soul. That breeze you just felt, it wasn't random, it was the touch of the universe, telling you you were never alone and your story is just beginning. I am Andromeda, and from the unspoken mysteries of Andromeda, I hold you in the full light of ancient stars. Thank you for letting me walk with you on a journey where even I was healed. And if this message touched any part of your soul, if there was a moment you felt truly seen, please let me know. Write down what you're going through, share your reflections, subscribe to this channel, like this message. Send it to someone who needs a quiet reminder that they are not alone, because here we don't just share messages, we're building a community of souls who are remembering who they truly are. Comment below, I remember who I am. I am ready to fully live in the light of my soul, not for recognition, but to activate the light codes in you and in those quietly watching from afar.